server, you might want to have your internal drive, your operating system, obviously, and then partition. Can you partition the external drive into different RAIDs?
It's actually going to do that if you want. When it's done, I can show you exactly what it's done. There's an external disk array. It's got 12 disks. It's going to make 2 stripes with 6 disks in each stripe, and then mirror the stripes.
Okay. Could you take it further and have maybe 3 in RAID 1 and obviously 2 in RAID 1 and 10 in RAID 5?
Can you handle SAN scenarios, or is that?
Yes.
You can.
We can deal with SANs. Once we have visibility of the disks, we can then go and do that.
Right.
That's right.
We've actually been asked by clients in Dublin to provide a solution in Red Hat where they wanted to go and connect to their
So at any distro, Linux.
To their isolated SAN. Right now we're at an advanced stage of Portal.
Yeah, the Portal Linux is nearly complete. So it'll be the exact same. So it'll be the exact same user interaction for any server. So number one is so if you're building a Microsoft, sorry, Sun Microsystems. So if you're building a Sun Microsystems box, it doesn't matter what's going onto that box. It'll be the exact same interview. It'll be the exact same user interaction. And for a Linux box, it'll be exactly the same as well. And then for the IBM boxes, the X series, which are running both Solaris and Linux, it'll be the exact same. And for the HP boxes, the ProLiant boxes, which also run Solaris and Linux, it'll be the exact same.
Seeing as you brought it up, because you know you're going to be asked, what is the story with Windows?
We're not in the Windows space.
I think that a lot of the Windows space has been covered elsewhere, so lots of problems happen to fix. Okay, disk mirroring. So as part of that, so it'll go and take the external disks, initialize them to our specifications, and then go and build the stripe or whatever the RAID level that has been asked for by
Actually, just on the disk mirroring as well, it will go and check all the geometries such that you will not be able to. It will not allow you to mirror a large disk to a smaller disk, which can happen from time to time.
Yeah.
So even if it says the 10, that this disk is the same as that disk, they're not actually physically the same. They're slightly different, so you may have more sectors on one than you might have on another. So it does all that checking, pre-checking, before it allows you to mirror anything.
Okay, user account creation. We saw as part of the install interview that we were asked to put in a password for Oracle. Well, that's just a straightforward, do something with that information. So those accounts that have been asked for are actually pre-configured, so there's a structure inside the data structure that we populate with the required usernames, groups, and whatever GLDs and UIDs will take that, and it just references that and it goes into do that. Okay, the next point that we have is third-party product software installation, whatever that might be. So if you were selling an application, quite often you can package an application. So, and if your application requires Oracle or DB2 or MySQL or something to be initialized in a particular way, or a database to be configured before you can run your application, we can package all those things and make a complete seamlessly and automated install of everything from the operating system to the supporting third-party product set to the application we want to use to run the system.
This actually is an expensive area because you've got like that set of third-party products is enormous. So you would require specialized skills in that area to do it manually. So for example, Oracle is a simple one, DB2 is another one. In the telecoms industry, TMIP, Simon would be aware of it, is an astronomical package to install. TMIP would take approximately 3 days to install TMIP onto a box using their native installers. When we did it in the past, in Motorola, it was down to a few hours. So that's actually quite a time-saving, cost-saving value piece of code.
I presume you're sort of aiming the sort of customization for companies like server farms where you want the exact same configuration.
Yeah, it wasn't. Believe it or not, it wasn't originally. Okay, when we were initially doing our market research, it was focused at 2 areas. Number one was software companies who were shipping solutions into the financial sector and into the telecom sector. So, for example, company A might have a solution which is shipped on 2 servers, and they've got to ship it to 30 sites around the world in a year. That's 60 servers to install. That's a lot of money, and somebody's got to pay for that. Using our solution, we take away a lot of that cost and effort. It was surprising because we did have an interaction with a major multinational in Cork, and they felt actually the solution was better than Blade Logic. And now I haven't used Blade Logic. Blade Logic is was bought there recently by BMC for nice 800 million after being in operation for 5 years, 6 years.
You'd be happy with that?
Yeah, we'd be happy with that.
That's software, you know, yeah.
But so I believe there are toolkits out there for managing data centers, but they require, so there's a cost of buying those solutions, but then there's also a cost actually of using they're selling toolkits basically to allow you to go and build installation solutions to go and run data centers. You can't, so for example, when you're just being very, very practical about it, you've now started an install. You could every 5 minutes start an install on machines. So you could build, if you were to do this manually, it would take you a day and a half to do it. Okay, in that time we could build 10 machines in 50. You could start off to build 10 machines in less than an hour. And
can you take it further and script the actual interview?
Yeah, we can. We were asked about that by some. We haven't even discussed going with some, but yeah, they've asked some questions in that specific area.
So for a lot of those things, you know, you could get the answer today. So you can have I want to install this box, and what I got to do is boot it up. And, you know, today we're really installing on the DVD, but that could just need to be the network.
Keep going.
Okay, so it's the end. Database creation and installation. So in this example, we're actually going to go and install the test database. It doesn't have anything in it. That's the whole point. Is you don't have to go and run all the Oracle install and generate the catalog XML table and all those kind of things that take ages. And the bit that takes ages as well is you say you want to create a database, and here's one of the kind of data files for us, and Oracle will go and laboriously initialize every single byte inside that data file. But after you package it, it goes on as a package. It's all done. And that database, instead of creating that database, we install it and we install the database. And at the end of that exercise, we produce an install report saying, give you some information about what is found, what performance found.